We are back with the live on LinkedIn. I've got Mr. Disrupt Education, Peter Hostrauser, dgstacks.com. For those who don't know, disrupteducation.co. Man, this is the mover and shaker right here. For those who don't know, Mr. Hostrauser, how are you doing today, man? How's everything going?
I'm
I
good,
love it.
man. I'm good. I'm moving. I'm shaking.
Oof,
I love that, man.
moving,
That's an old,
moving and
like, you know
shaking.
how old that is now, man?
I know, right? It is.
I
No,
like it though.
seriously.
I like it. It keeps the blood flowing.
It's still relevant, man. I mean, I think that's the beautiful part. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Either you're someone that's just gonna watch from the sidelines, or you're
Mhm.
gonna step into the court. You're gonna step on that 94-foot court, as I like to use the basketball analogy. But there's a couple things that do come to mind for me today as I was thinking, for our conversations, just like thinking about partnerships, right? Like, you're doing a lot in education, whether it's public engagements, working in entrepreneurship classes, right? And then looking at what you've been doing, your body of work over the last how many years now with Disrupt? Five,
Oh man,
six
it's
years,
eight,
longer than that.
nine,
Yeah.
8, 9 years now. Yeah.
So 9 years of work, right? Like the partnerships that you've been able to establish now and looking at 2024, like what are some partnerships, or if you had one partnership in mind that you could create right now, what would it be and why? I'm
Oh,
curious.
I mean
Yeah.
that's a difficult question for one partnership because I love
Yeah.
learning
Yeah.
from people in general. There's a
Yeah.
couple of
Yeah.
lanes that we're looking at. I know Ali and I are looking at, if you're an educational facility
Okay.
and looking for think tanks, people to
Yeah.
talk about different ways to doing things.
Uh-huh.
That would be a great partnership that we're looking
Yeah.
at. I think a lot of our people that we talk to are in the educational, obviously in the educational area. Sometimes we
Hmm.
talk to work with some ed tech companies and
Hmm.
partner with them. So down that route is just kind of like really learning from each other in kind of
Okay.
partnering up, maybe doing series, which we've
Yes.
done in the past. Like
Yes.
to do some series with some innovative schools,
Okay.
innovative
Okay.
people in the education realm. That's one lane. The
Yeah.
interesting thing is not so much though. It's kind of like what we're doing here. You know,
Mm.
I like to partner with people who are creating solutions to help other people.
Mm.
And
Yes.
there's some things on the horizon. I don't want to let too much go,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's more about content, right? Content creation. It's something that I fell in love with doing. Why we do the lives, why we do the
Yeah.
podcast, and it has gained some attention with a lot of marketing peeps out there, and a
Yeah.
lot of people who are looking for just authentic conversations. The flash and the scripted and everything's like perfect, like with the
Right. Right.
the green screen background. People are looking
Right.
through that, man. And one of the things I'm doing right now is partnering with not only individuals, authors, and companies, um,
Yeah.
is having those real conversations. Because I'm the guy who's like, look, I'm going to ask you the questions like, what is
Hmm.
this? What is your product? What is this all about? And it's just like a
Hmm.
couple of people talking, kind of like what we're doing here. So
Yeah.
that's two. I know I want to go more, but I'll stay
No.
there with two.
No, no, and listen, I love what you did there because I think that's one of the major strengths you have as a disruptor, right? Like when you're disrupting anything, there's also a level of like I have to dissect like the
Mhm.
situation and kind of maybe take a step back and look at all the different pinpoints. If it's a business owner you're talking to, maybe it's an event, even like in my case, where I kind of do like a self-reflection, like how do I think I did? What were some things that maybe went wrong, but how did we overcome that in that situation, right? So that's the only way you're going to see that continuous improvement. I think when you build the right partnerships, it allows you to be more effective and efficient.
Mhm.
Which kind of leads to my next question because I remember, a few years back went on tour with Jams.
Mhm.
Shout out to Jams, great opportunity. We, went to several cities, but that was a level of partnership that we did create at the time. We were an opener for the headlining artist Coda the Friend. He's
Mhm.
based out of Brooklyn, New York. And, just thinking about education and looking at even like, I don't know, maybe like an Apple presentation where you've got the all new Apple 11 and 12 and 13. Like, could you see yourself perhaps going on an education tour, not just like doing a one-off conference and speaking maybe to an audience of several high schoolers, but, really making this a residual type experience, that maybe is nationwide, what would that look like for you? Let's say if Disrupt went on tour, man.
Yeah, Ellie and I are actually looking into that right now. It's funny you asked that.
Wow.
We're
Yeah.
working with gaining some information and understanding
Okay.
of our listeners, on the
Nice.
Disrupt Education podcast, like who is really listening to us and how can we help them more,
Yeah.
and how can we become a community? So we're
Yeah.
we're in the
Yeah.
talks. I mean, we're doing some research. We'll be throwing some. If you're on the mailing list, you go to peterhostrasser.com or disrupteducation.co and you sign up, subscribe there. You'll start to see
Yep.
a couple of emails coming out around like, what do you want to hear? And with that being said, it's
Mhm.
great to think, yeah, Ali and I are in a stadium and everybody's, talking with us about education.
Sure.
Obviously that's, way down the line, should that happen, but you got to start
Yeah.
small. So what we're
Yeah.
looking at is to have kind of a think tank or a group meet, somewhere where we are on, a Zoom call like this, through
Hmm.
all of our listeners throughout the nation or even the world, and just kind of have a big kind of chat, like let's unpack like this
Yeah.
subject and let's have a conversation. So I think that is where we're looking to start this. You're probably
Yeah.
going to see something like late spring, early summer, to where we get some people together and start talking. You got to start small, right? Like you can't,
Yeah.
go, open up for, some great band, you've got to put in your
Yeah.
time and understanding just like a musician. So that's funny you
Yeah.
should ask that because that's where we're doing. We're starting to try to figure out better our community. I mean, there's
Yeah.
bandwidth things that we're working with. I mean, I'm a full-time educator. So that's difficult. I do a lot of work with announcing
Hmm.
for athletic events, which I love. Got a
Yeah.
family, we travel. So there's a lot there, but just trying to find the areas of that. So again, I'll throw that shout out there. You go to disrupteducation.co and you just subscribe. You just sign up there.
Yes.
I got it. I got some stories and different things coming out. They're already coming out, talking about our
Yeah.
podcast and such. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, really, I mean, I just get to learn with people, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think the more noise we make in education, the better that we can make it in a system, out of a system, wherever. So that's where we're disrupting.
Absolutely, man. You couldn't have said it any better. And if those who don't know, like I said, disrupteducation.co is where you can find Mr. Peter Hostrauser and, take a look at his YouTube, look at, the conversations he's having, see how that could be relevant to your journey and how you can tie that into the things that maybe you're disrupting. And for those who are disrupting, I'd be happy to hear, some of the stories that you all are doing. So definitely feel free to, shoot me a message anytime. Feel free to, if you have questions about what I do on the music side and
Yeah.
how I've correlated that on the business end. I'm happy to have this dialogue as we do every week. So make sure you tune in next week to the next live. We appreciate everyone, checking us out, dgsacks.com. For those who don't know me, DG Sacks, all platforms, Disrupt Education. Until next time, we appreciate you tuning in. Take care.
Man.